LakelandCarKeys.com. We're currently in a 2008 Toyota Camry. All keys lost. We're going to attempt to cut and program a remote key for it. So this is going to be another test for the Otofix D1 Lite to test out its immobilizer features, and we're going to see if it can program the remote and the transponder on this vehicle in the all keys lost situation. So I'm going to go into service, go into emo keys, and we're going to go ahead and try to auto vent it. I do have a blade cut that has the ignition turned to the on position. We'll go ahead and select Toyota. Alright. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go in and try to program the remote just to make sure I have the right remote and the remote can program. And then once the remote does program, I will go ahead and program the transponder. Alright, so now it's asking for, is this a Kentucky product or others? And what I believe it's actually asking is this a US built Camry or a Japanese built Camry? And by the VIN number, we could tell that's a number 4, the first letter, which will tell us that's a US built. Had it been Japan built, the first letter would have been a J. So I'm going to select this Kentucky product. Now if this doesn't work, I'll go back and try the other and see if it gives us any better results. Alright, so I'm going to go into hot functions. Alright, let's see, immobilizer. Alright, so this is for all the key learning. Alright, let's go back and go into main body and see if it lets us do alright, manual remote match. Alright, so this one might be yeah, so this is going to give us an onboard procedure for matching the remotes. I really dislike doing these. Yeah, so I'm just going to pull up my Autel and see if it has an automatic remote learning process. If not, I will go through this manual on board, which obviously I can't hold the phone and record, but let me just see if I can get this remote program, and then I'll cut back in and show you the transponder programming. Alright, so it looks like the Autel, I'm using the KM100, it looks like it is setting up for a scanner remote program, which is awesome. I don't have to go through the 40 steps of the onboard processing. So I'm going to try to do this one-handed. Let's see if it actually goes ahead and works, or else, you know, I'm going to have to put the phone back down and try it again manually or with hands-free. Alright, and there it goes. That was programmed, so our learning was succeeded. Let me switch the dongle back. That was the Autel one. This is the Otofix one. And then I'm just going to go back and double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Or maybe this is what I need to go into. Wireless code registration. This function is used to add newly recognized codes for registration when ready. The code's exchanged. This function adds a new wireless. Alright, so that's what it was. I went into the wrong menu, and the way a lot of this stuff in the Otofix is worded is a little weird. All right, step 1 of 3, remote for. All right, so this is telling me right now this car currently has 3 remotes programmed in it, and there's a possibility of 4 remotes, which was the 2 was, I'm sure, was the original 2, and then the 3rd one is that one I just added in. I'm just going to go ahead and hit next. All right, so this is the procedure that we just did with.
You got back up a little bit. I gotta get this truck out of here.
All right, just give me a moment.
I appreciate
Yep.
it.
All right, so what I was saying was this procedure is the same procedure we used on the KM100. Is once it goes into programming mode, you're gonna hold lock and unlock simultaneously for 1 second, and then within 3 seconds press either the lock or unlock button and the programming will proceed. I am not going to attempt to do this one just for the sake of we already know it's programmed. So like I said, in the Otofix, it's worded kind of weird, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and exit that. So we're gonna go ahead and say the Otofix will be able to do that remote. It's under the main body. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this blade. I just want to verify that the remote would program first. So I'm gonna cut this blade, and then we'll go ahead and do the transponder programming with the Otofix D1 Lite. Alright, so now I'm back in the car. I got that blade cut. The remote key is in the ignition, and the ignition is on the on position. I'm gonna go ahead under emo keys and do an all keys loss. This says this function will clear all keys. You need at least 2 keys, at least 1 master key among the keys. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to have us put 1 key in, program it, and then put a 2nd key in, program it. Usually it lets you put the key in the ignition without turning it on to the on position. So if it's a vehicle that you're only making 1 key for, you can grab a blank key that's uncut and just stick it in there so that it programs it, and then you can put it back in your inventory, use it for later, and that way you get past the needing 2 keys. All right, and go ahead and click OK. I mean, you should always try to sell the customer 2 keys, but we know that's not always the case. And then basically that's what it's going to tell us to do. So we're going to go down here, we're going to learn 2 keys. We're going to insert the first key into the lock and just wait 5 seconds with the key in off position, and then we're going to take it out, and then we're going to put the 2nd key in, wait for 5 seconds, and leave as in the off position, and then pull it out. And then usually what we have to do is put the first program key back in and turn it on and off 5 times really fast, and that will exit the programming mode. All right, so took it out, put this key in, wait 5 seconds, and we can see our security light there is on. I'll pull this one out, put the 2nd key in, wait 5 seconds. So this is flashing now. I just gotta double check and make sure both of these are the right chip. And then, so I am here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see. And I don't think that programmed successfully because the security light is still flashing. So let me go through just verify these 2 keys. So this key was a key that was in the car already. It looks like it was halfway cut. I'm not sure what they were doing. And I tried to use this as the 2nd key programming. And this might have been my issue. So I'll grab another key and I'll go through this procedure again. Yeah, I can't turn. Oh, I can turn this one. Alright, so oddly enough, when I turn this one, this carry lights out. And alright, so that starts the vehicle. There's a possibility that this key was already programmed to the car. That's interesting. Alright, so let me just go back and verify these keys, and we could go into system, see if the all keys lost worked and how many keys are programmed in there, and it'll give us some verification of what we did. So after doing a little bit more research, this key that was in the car was actually the key for the car, and I think it was just, the issue was it was just hanging up on the ignition. So as you see, this carry light is there, it's blinking, and then as soon as I put the key in, it stays out. I turn to the on position, it stays out. So that tells me that this key here is a program master key. So what I did was I recut the blade. It looked like the blade wasn't cut very good. I recut the blade and gave it a few whirls in the ignition, and it turns fine. So now that we have a program master key, we can go ahead and try the add key with this remote key. So after doing a little research and reading the chips, I think the problem I had originally programming this key into the car was the actual transponder itself. I opened it up, I pulled out the transponder that was in it, which was the correct type, but I changed it with a X-Horse super chip. And what I'm going to do is I already pre-coded it as the 4D67 that we need to program to this car. So I'm going to use the Otofix Lite and what would be add a key and try programming it in. If that doesn't work, then I'll just go ahead and clone this master key to this new key and be on my way. Alright, so I want to go through one more time with the Otofix. We're going to go into, actually, you know what? Let me put the master key in, turn it to the on position, and then go to key registration. Alright, so this will register a new transponder code. We're going to click OK. Alright, hit next. Alright, so perform the operation below. Remove the key from the key cylinder. Insert the key back into the cylinder. Now this isn't telling us if we wanted do this with the master key or, you know, the new key, so which is kind of odd. And I think this is trying to program the master key, so I'm gonna have to go through this procedure again with yeah, they need to work on some of the wording in here. Actually, no, let's see if it'll let me just go ahead and Alright, so yep. So I overstepped that one. So that was doing the master key recognition, which again, it doesn't say what it's actually doing, so I was a little confused. So we're gonna go back in. Alright, so remove the key from the cylinder. This is the learn master key. Insert it back into the cylinder and turn the ignition on, and then we're gonna hit next, and this should go ahead and detect the master key. Alright, now remove, see, now it says master key here. Remove the master key and then hit next. Alright, insert the key that you want to program within 10 seconds. Do not turn it on. Hit next. Alright, now it's registering this key. So the wording in here definitely needs some work, but so far as I'm going to give everything a go on the Otofix D Lite as far as programming keys, and then the remote function it wants you to do, the onboard programming for the remote. But like I said, it's not as simple as if I was using one of the Autel key programmers. Like I said, the wording is a little confusing, so someone who's not a locksmith might be a little confused as to what the procedure is that they need to do to complete this process. So yeah, it does do it, but like I said, it's not as, they could have worded it better. So, you know, a lot of people talk about this is a direct copy of Autel, but some things are different. Alright, so now it says new key registration is complete. Press next to try another key, or press escape to exit key wizard. So we're not going to add another key. We're going to go, and do we want to exit key registration? Yes. Alright. So there we go. Our security light is flashing, and this is our new program key. We put it in. It's no longer flashing, and it starts up the car and runs. It stays running. You always want to make sure that, you know, give it about 10 seconds. Make sure the car stays running. So, you know, we overcame some issues. The issue that I originally had with this key was at the actual chip itself. So I replaced the chip, and the Otofix D1 Lite was definitely capable of programming this key. So this is another car. We did the Honda Accord yesterday, and we did the Toyota Camry today. So the mobilizer features, like I said, it's not as nice as using an actual key programmer, but it does work. And we are in there. Alright, electroncarkeys.com.